Jalen is playing at a, more than an all-star level this year.
His footwork is as good as it gets. All young kids out there who watch the game, watch Jalen Brunson's footwork. He plays like a post player.
He's a gamer, man. He in the biggest moments, he shows up.
He took so much criticism for guys when he took $100 million less.
Did you have any idea Jalen Brunson would be this good? Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Most NBA stars earn respect because of what they can do physically. They're faster, stronger, taller, or more explosive. But Jalen Brunson came out of seemingly nowhere and earned the respect of NBA superstars by being different. People like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Luka Dončić, Steve Nash, Draymond Green, and Kevin Garnett have all talked about Brunson's uniqueness, and you'd be surprised by some of the qualities they spoke about. So let's start with the man who rightly called Jalen Brunson the greatest free agent signing in NBA history. Charles Barkley is one of those basketball old heads who are hard to please. However, when he saw the Mavs let Brunson walk for nothing, he started to really pay attention. And within a few years, he saw Brunson blossom into something the NBA wasn't used to seeing.
I can't believe what a great player he's turned into. When he went to the Knicks last year, I was like, that's a good signing. It's one of the best signings I've ever seen for a free agent. Nobody knew he was going to be that good.
He called Brunson one of the greatest free agent signings ever because he watched what was termed a good starting point guard quickly become the face of an entire franchise. However, like Sir Charles said, no one saw this coming, except for one person, his former teammate, Luka Dončić.
Oh, this guy's amazing. But just starting the first we got together, like the way he worked out every day, coming back in the afternoon, it was just amazing to play with that guy.
Superstars recognize obsession because they've lived it themselves. So, when Luka saw Jalen's obsession, he knew he was destined to be great. Another NBA superstar, Paul George, also talks about seeing glimpses of what Brunson could become during his days in Dallas.
When Luka went out and Jalen Brunson became the starter in that stretch where Luka was hurt, he showed that he could handle and run a team and be the face of a team. So you saw the signs, but I didn't think this good, especially what he's doing in probably the biggest market that you could do it in, the toughest probably franchise that you could play for, with the expectations, the pressure in New York.
Even Kevin Durant sees the same trajectory.
Yeah, great score. Got the confidence. That's his franchise, so they all there to support him and put him in best position he can to be Hall of Fame player by the end of his career the way he's playing up there.
And once Brunson became the centerpiece of the Knicks, the results followed almost immediately. And then Stephen A. Smith summed up what was happening.
Jalen Brunson has been sensational. He's literally a league MVP candidate. Literally a league MVP candidate. And I think you got to give credit where credit is due.
This was all 2 years ago, before any NBA Cup or the Larry O'Brien. However, the handwriting was on the wall for those who wanted to see. But then again, the question is, what exactly were they seeing every time they watched Jalen Brunson play? If you ask 10 different NBA players what makes Jalen Brunson special, you'll probably get 10 different answers. You'd probably hear about his footwork, his body control, his pick and roll reads, or his fadeaway. At first, those answers sound unrelated, but they're not. They're all describing the fact that Jalen Brunson has mastered the art of making defenders uncomfortable. This is what King James said.
What we will say is off timing.
Yeah.
Or if you're guarding him, you can't time it because you don't know when he's going.
It's not natural.
Yeah, it's not natural. He goes and then he just kind of tosses it up there.
Boom, boom, instead of boom.
Yeah, exactly. So now you know. Yeah, exactly.
LeBron isn't saying Brunson has an unstoppable first step. He's saying you can't time Jalen Brunson. And that's a big problem because basketball defenders survive on time. Here's one of basketball's greatest defenders, Draymond Green, saying how tough facing Jalen is.
It's tough defending Jalen Brunson. If I'm honest, I actually prefer to defend him more in ISO than a pick and roll. He's so crafty, man. You start adding a screen, a pick and roll with Jalen Brunson, and he's coming downhill, and he's got all the pivots and side steps and drawing fouls, and he uses his body great. He finishes well. Jalen Brunson is a 3-level scorer. He can finish at the rim. He can finish in the mid-range. He got a floater. He got a 3. He got a pull-up. Like, he scores at all levels.
As a defender, you got to anticipate when a player is going to gather, jump, release the ball, or change direction. But Brunson breaks the rhythm constantly. He hesitates, stops, pivots, and changes pace without warning. Every move forces defenders to react a split second too late. That's why Greg Anthony tells every young player to study Brunson's footwork.
His footwork is as good as it gets. All young kids out there who watch the game, watch Jalen Brunson's footwork. He plays like a post player.
Notice he doesn't say Brunson plays like a guard. He says he plays like a post player. You see, post players have always relied on balance, leverage, pivots, and patience to create space. Brunson somehow brought those same fundamentals into the point guard position, and it worked. In fact, it worked so much that Steve Nash, one of the greatest point guards ever, described how Brunson does it.
One of the things that I love about him, beyond the shot making, is he's so smart at using his body.
Yeah.
We know he plays off 2 feet. We know he's got incredible touch on those drives where guys, and he's able to just float the ball in the basket. It's almost not a floater, not a layup, not a runner, but it's just like a shot on the move with a guy tattooed to him.
Brunson's lower body strength and lower center of gravity allow him to absorb contact instead of avoiding it. He gets defenders on his hip, keeps them there, and finishes with incredible touch around the rim despite standing just 6'2". That skill took years in the making, but that was the only option for someone who isn't the fastest, the biggest, or the strongest. And wait to see why Kevin Durant basically called him Superman. But first, let's understand why Jalen doesn't shrink, even on the biggest stage. You see, it's one thing to fool defenders on a Tuesday night in January, but it's another thing to do it when an entire playoff defense spends 7 games trying to stop you. That's where most stars find out which parts of their game actually translate to winning basketball. For Jalen Brunson, the playoffs haven't exposed weaknesses. They actually showed how deep Brunson's bag is, and Kevin Garnett saw it too.
He got 7 different ways he can get to that fadeaway. He don't have a crazy cross, he ain't got a crazy range, but man, his weapons as sharp as you can have. He got 7, 8 weapons that is as sharp as you can have. Jalen Brunson has a great balance of speed, strength, and all of it. This is another level of performance, man. If this was anybody else, we'd be calling him Superman and having
the best player in the playoffs.
Hell fucking yeah.
That's why Brunson has become one of the league's most efficient shot creators. Because even when the lights get brighter, you don't see him shrinking. You actually get to see parts of his game you didn't know he had. Interestingly, the first glimpse came long before New York, back in the 2022 playoffs when Luka Dončić wasn't available. Here's Luka himself describing what he saw that night.
Did you have any idea Jalen Brunson would be this good?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Why?
I would say one game that really was impressive on that playoff run. We lose the first game against Utah. So that second game, if we lost that second game, it would be tough to come back. We 0-2, and then we have 2 in Utah. So that second game, I think he had like 45, something like that. Like it was a tough game, and we needed to win no matter what. In that game was really impressive. I was just on the bench watching, like, wow, this guy's amazing.
That was Brunson's first playoff experience. The Mavs were favorites, but their star player wasn't available, so there was much pressure sitting on Brunson's shoulders for that game. However, he responded with 41 points in a must-win playoff game, proving he could carry an offense when everything was on the line. To many, that performance felt like an outlier, but as it turns out, it was actually a preview. Brunson got to New York, the pressure got louder and bigger. How could a role player in Dallas be the one to break New York's 53-year jinx? That was the question, and Brunson wasted no time answering. After they won the title, Coach Mike Brown spoke on how much they depended on him.
He's a gamer, man. He in the biggest moments, he shows up. And that's what MVPs are supposed to do. We put the ball in his hands. We said we were going to live and die with him. And he went and he got it done for us. And that's happened time after time after time.
This is really what Charles Barkley meant when he called Brunson the greatest free agent signing ever. Because Brunson was supposed to be just okay. But as the stage got bigger, so did he. However, it would not be complete to talk about how different Jalen Brunson is without mentioning the sacrifice he made. More than 90% of NBA players, both active and retired, don't earn up to $100 million total in career salaries. When you think of that, then you understand just how wild Jalen Brunson is to have left $113 million on the table. No one could believe someone could do that.
It's hard to hear, Skip. Yeah, it is. What you say, $113 million he left on the table?
Yeah.
You left $113 million? That don't even sound right.
But Charles Barkley saw the criticisms, the reason for the sacrifice, and the outcome, and couldn't help but give JB his flowers.
He took so much criticism for guys when he took $100 million less so they could go out and get other players. He deserved, listen, $100 million is a lot of money, but he wanted them to go out and get him some help, and they went out and got him some help, and they are the world champs.
He's not praising Brunson for scoring 40 points or hitting a game-winning shot. He's praising him for making a decision that gave his organization a better chance to win. And history rewarded his faith and belief. Jalen Brunson isn't different because he comes from a family of basketball royalty. He's made different because he mastered the details of basketball that most players never fully develop. And those details have turned an overlooked second-round pick into a champion, a finals MVP, and one of the most respected players in the league today. Brunson has already brought one championship back to New York. But if you want an answer to whether they can do it again or not, watch how the New York Knicks might actually do it again next.